Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to the 8 limbs of yoga and the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali study. Today, we are on the 7th limb of yoga, Dhyana, absorption. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Hi, my name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of 12 published books, including this latest book, The 8 Limbs of Yoga for Modern Times, a practical guide to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. This book is available on Amazon or Ingram Spark. The links are all below. If you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you here. Thank you for subscribing. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I teach meditation online on demand, and if you would like to, you can download a free chakra healing meditation. It's from my book, Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy. It's yours for free. Just download it at the link below. So the 7th limb of yoga, we're almost there. We're almost to the 8th limb, is Dhyana. It comes after Dharana, which is really hard because those are very closely spelled. So it's Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. And I kind of clumped those together in my book because it's really hard to separate them and have them have their separate meanings because they really go well together. So in the 6th limb of yoga, which I will go ahead and put that link to that video right here so you can check it out after this one. In the 6th limb of yoga on Dharana, I spoke about focus, one-pointed attention. When you are totally focused on one specific thing for a long duration of time. Now, that focus in meditation obviously would be your mantra, and that's the type of practice that I teach, a mantra-based meditation practice. But you could be focused on a number of things and just have that one-pointed focus, that one-pointed attention on that specific thing. Now, once that focus lasts for a duration of time, you become absorbed with that object, with the thing that you are focused on. And that is the beauty of the 7th limb of yoga. So let me go ahead and read to you the Yoga Sutra that pertains to the 7th limb of yoga. Meditative absorption is the continuous flow of cognition toward that object. Yoga Sutra, Chapter 3, Verse 2. It is the continuous flow of cognition, right? Focus toward that specific object. All right, let's decode this a little bit so that you, as a person who maybe hasn't studied the Yoga Sutras so much, that you can fully grasp it because it is something that is more esoteric in nature. Let's go ahead and use a real world example of what the 7th limb of yoga, Dhyana, is really talking about. In the book, I use the example of falling in love. Think about that for a moment. Have you ever fallen head over heels over someone? You fell in love, they fell in love, it was love at first sight, and you wanted to spend every single minute with that person. So you came together and you never wanted to come apart, and you want to know everything about this person. They want to know everything about you. There's this intense chemistry, physical attraction. It's like the whole world disappears when you are with that person and they are with you. Time stands still. You're with your person and it's like, wow, 6 hours just went by. Where did the time go? You were totally absorbed immersed with that person. And then when you consummated the relationship, when you made love, when you had sex with that person, that is another layer of absorption where the two become one. And so that feeling of falling in love, being in love, those first few days, weeks, or months of that love relationship where you just feel consumed by the other person and with the other person. And it almost feels like the entire world does not exist around you. That is Dhyana. It's exactly what it is. It's that feeling of oneness. It's that feeling of you still know that you are you, and you still know that the other person is the other person, but the feeling is like unique because it's like, ooh, I feel absorbed with them and they feel absorbed with me. And then oftentimes reality comes to the surface, right? Your boss calls and says, why haven't you been to work in a few days? And you're like, oh yeah, reality. I've got real world things to take care of. But that is meditative absorption. It's not Samadhi, which is the total absorption. And it's not just the one-pointed attention, which is the sixth limb of yoga. It's somewhere in between. It's where you still know that you're you. The object of attention is still the object of attention, but there are those moments of colliding where the two become one, and then there's just like this separateness, but then the two become one, and then there's separateness. It's like if you are absorbed in a creative project, if you are a painter, a writer, a sculptor, or if you play a particular sport and you feel totally absorbed with the plays of that sport, that is meditative absorption. So you may have moments, for example, where you're feeling your body. If you're a painter, for example, and you're painting a masterpiece, you may be working for 8 to 10 hours and you're completely immersed in the project, absorbed in the project. Time stands still. You do not even realize that 8 to 10 hours have gone by. But then your stomach growls really loudly and calls you back to your body. It is a beautiful phase in the meditative process because we reach transcendent states as we are experiencing the seventh limb of yoga, really the sixth, seventh, and then eighth limb of yoga. But in this in-between stage, it's when we move in and move out of that transcendent state. So there is still awareness of separateness, but it still has the blissful state of oneness integrated with it. When I teach meditation, and I teach a mantra-based practice, as I mentioned, I explain to my students that with the mantra, you will experience this. You will move in and out of that absorption, that meditative absorption, where you remember your mantra and then you forget your mantra. And when you forget your mantra, it's because you are absorbed with the mantra. And that is that state. So it is a wonderful and beautiful stage to get into before the next state of total transcendence. And while it is not completely alone in the process, as I mentioned, the one-pointed attention and the total absorption are kind of sandwiching that seventh limb of yoga so that you kind of move through those 3 phases seamlessly. And you may jump from one to the other in the midst of finding those moments of transcendence. So I hope this was helpful for you if you are studying the 8 limbs of yoga as a yoga teacher in training, or that you need to teach this in your yoga teacher training program. Make sure to pick up a copy of the 8 limbs of yoga for modern times for your students, for yourself, for your yoga class and recommend it to others so that they too can understand the 8 limbs of yoga and the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali in a very real world way. I want to thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so you never miss another video on yoga, yogic breathing, yoga philosophy, meditation. Thank you for sharing this with others who are interested in yoga and yoga philosophy. And thank you for your support of my channel. As I mentioned, you can purchase one of my 12 published books. You can check out my website for more resource materials. And I will see you in the next video.